of section A, do you think that legitimacy acquired by consent or manufactured by indoctrination is essential element of maintenance of political rule? Justify your answer with relevance of example. Yes, here the question is legitimacy. And the concept of political legitimacy was highlighted by the German sociologist or political sociologist father Max Weber. So how do you think that legitimacy acquired by consent? Legitimacy means rightfulness. It is value-laden subjective concept. Excessive use of force by state is the symptom of eroding legitimacy. And Gramsci also said that even in master-slave society, masters has superior means of legitimation rather than superior means of coercion. So Gramsci, Hannah Arendt, Max Weber, they all talked about legitimacy, that rightfulness that is perceptional. And excessive and repeated use of force is the symptom of eroding legitimacy. So consent of the people, just political, as I said, Gramsci divided civil society superstructure into two parts: civil society, base is economic structure, no doubt, and political society. So a structure of legitimation works in civil society, and a structure of coercion works in political society, according to Gramsci, the Italian neo-Marxist. And state, opaque state, is not a class instrument. It's overlapping, is ever present everywhere. So capitalist state is continuing not because of superior means of coercion, but because of ideological and cultural leadership of capitalist. They have indoctrinated, they have brainwashed civil society, a school, church, religious place, social groups, colleges, everywhere in civil society. Capitalism has proved itself natural and innocent. This is indoctrinated. This is brainwashing. This is legitimation. And people have voluntarily accepted capitalism as the best. So for Gramsci, tactics of movement was more important than tactics of siege. And war of position was more important than war of maneuvering. Because all action of workers for socialist revolution did not succeed, because they did not take civil society into confidence. So the concept of legitimacy linked with credibility. Credibility means capacity plus effectiveness, linked with authority. That is most positive form of power. Power backed by law, legitimate power with willing obedience, voluntary compliance. So force is only ability to coerce obedience. Influence is ability to persuade, while authority is moral right to rule. So power is only ability to issue effective commands, but authority is not only ability, it is a moral right to issue effective commands. So credibility, effectiveness, legitimacy, authority, they involves the element of consent, they involves the element of voluntary compliance, they involves the element of righteousness, it involves indoctrination. So this is there in both, in all the concepts of whether it's Gramsci, whether it's Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt also says that violence is inversely proportional to power. Power is where violence is absent. Violence is with the state. Power is with the group acting in concert. So a group with coordination, communication, unity of purpose, teamwork, that is having power, not the state, which represents force and violence. So wherever there is violence, there is no power, according to Hannah Arendt. So she is not taking the concept of power in terms of power to or power from or power by, but empowerment concept, so that one can overcome the weaknesses and handicaps on their own. This is contemporary concept of power, that power which is exercised with legitimacy, credibility, authority, and a positive sense with voluntary compliance, and by taking civil society into confidence. And Max Weber also says that repeated and frequent use of power is the symptom of eroding legitimacy. So legitimacy is based on three things: personal, then structural due to position, ideological. Personal due to relation, like you consider your father and mother right because of personal relation, attachment, emotions. Structural, as the staff consider boss as always right due to position. And ideological, like Americans consider capitalism as best, Soviet Union considered socialism as best, we consider Gandhism as best. So ideological basis of legitimacy. So this is there also in chapter power, authority, and legitimacy. And Max Weber gave a unique definition of legitimacy, the unique definition of a state, that the state was the human organization having monopoly of using legitimate violence within the given territory. That was the unique definition given by Max Weber. Legitimate violence means if a person is hanged, it is violence. If police is ordered to fire, then it is violence. But state is a human organization having monopoly of using legitimate violence. So this is quite enlightening definition of a state. State is to be defined in terms of ends, and in this way the concept of legitimacy has to be explained. So we have discussed the paper 1 section A, and subsequent papers of political science and international relation 2025 will be discussing in next classes.